The Unplayable Podcast is proudly presented by Qantas, the official podcast partner and the official airline partner of Cricket Australia. Once again this season, Qantas is proud to be flying Australia's cricketers as they take on the world. This is the Unplayable Podcast, Kane Richardson and Josh Schonafinger. Well, not in that order, at least talking order. Maybe in cricket knowledge and skill order. But Kane, how are you? Welcome back.
Good. Thanks for getting me back. I had a week off. I was just a bit sore in the jaw and the throat, so a bit of load management. So, yeah, good to be back.
What did you get up to in your week off?
No, I've been busy. You say week off like it was a plan in the schedule. No, I just had some stuff on at home. We're just doing some work at home, so I had to delegate some tradies and stuff. But I know from listening to last week, you had Louis Cameron on, which is, let's be honest, it's probably better for everyone with Louis involved. So, but sorry, Lou, I'm back and off you go.
Let's get into the weekly winner. You said you wanted to go first this week. Who you got?
Well, I do want to go first because I didn't want you to steal it.
Okay.
But Alyssa Healy with her exploits top of the order, was that going to be yours?
She's there.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I had a feeling you might go that.
Well, I think with the magnitude of the chase against the home team, India 142 off 107, that'd look good in any format. And chasing, was it 330 with an over to spare? Was it a record as well?
Yeah, world record, yeah.
So to do that in a World Cup in India against India, she's just been simmering along, and then bang, she makes her mark on this World Cup, and the girls just starting to purr nicely, aren't they? So undefeated after 4. I know we'll touch on, and you'll touch on their with boots on the ground over there with Laura, but yeah, they're starting to go really well and starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. So Alyssa, all yours, weekly winner.
Definitely. And they've been challenged, but they've still got the job done. So that's a really good sign. And they've got Bangladesh tonight, Thursday. So tune in on Amazon Prime for that. Mine is also from the World Cup. Nadine de Klerk, a couple of match-winning knocks from number 8 for South Africa. 84 not out of 54 against India, against the hosts. And then 37 not out of 29 against Bangladesh. A couple of really clutch knocks from low in the order.
Yeah, but not only her, but there's been a theme for a few teams with runs from the tail. I know traditionally now teams bat very deep and number 8, 9 can all bat, but I know it's the same with Australia with, Alana King making runs as well. So
Kim Garth.
So it must get frustrating for the opposition when you get them in a position where you think you've got them on toast, and then all of a sudden number 8 pulls off runs like that. So yeah, that's probably a worthy winner as well. It's been a great week in cricket that we can have 2 such worthy weekly winners.
Definitely. And I mean, as from a bowling point of view, surely mopping up the tail is the easy part of the job, right?
Well, it should be, but like I said, I think everyone puts so much time and effort. Everyone's professional, and there's more time to train and upskill now than what there would have been 20 years ago when guys were genuine bunnies like Chris Martin, and I know Glenn McGrath had a good outing in Test cricket once, but yeah, that it's pretty rare these days you see someone who actually can't hold a bat. So, and I know white ball cricket in the subcontinent can lend itself to being good for batting. So if you get in with a top order bat and there's a bit of dew around, it can be nice to bat. So, but you still got to make them.
Yeah.
And that has been the frustrating thing for a lot of teams trying to finish off an innings with the ballers. They haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, the pitches have been good. The outfields are always quick over there, and the grounds aren't always massive either. So lots of runs. There have been some big scores in that World Cup, and it's a good segue because our colleague Laura Jolly is over there in Vizag, and I had a chat to her recently about just how the Aussies are going and what's up for their next match. Great to be joined by Laura Jolly, cricket.com.au's women's cricket editor, all the way from the east coast of India, Vizag. How are you going over there, LJ?
I'm going very well, thank you. I've learnt how to spell the long version of Visakhapatnam. Visakhapatnam. I can't say it, but I can spell it. So going well over here in Vizag.
Yeah, I found with the longer names, it's best just to say it as quickly as possible, like Tilavananthapuram. We learnt that one at the 2023 World Cup.
That's very good.
Now, I want to talk about that world record chase that Australia pulled off the other night against India. They posted 330, the hosts, but Australia got it done. It's been a little bit now since that match, LJ. When you reflect on it, what's the first thing that sort of comes to mind?
I think it was just a really good show of what this Australian team's capable of. Definitely felt India left 20 to 30 runs out there, which was really to do with Annabelle Sutherland taking 5 wickets. They lost 6 for 36, I think, across the last 5 overs. So they really could have gone a lot bigger if Annabelle hadn't got Jemmy Rodrigues and Richo Gosh out when she did. So I think once the Australians almost felt like it was under par, they definitely had momentum going into the batting innings. And I think that was probably just the kind of scenario where Alyssa Healy was able to just maybe let go of some of the pressure she's put herself under, having not made a big score in a while. Just knowing she had to go for it from ball one, and there was no pressure of setting a score. It was just, target in mind and had to go for it, which helped her get off to such a good start.
Well, I think when I went to bed, or not long before, India were none for 150 or something. So it was looking like they were going to go really big.
Yeah, genuinely thought we could be chasing over 400 at that point. Annabelle Sutherland, to have an economy rate of about 4 when 330 runs were on the board is pretty remarkable. And she was really the one that pegged India back, which was really good.
What was it about her? Was it changes of pace or just good accuracy, good field settings? Why was she the one who was able to take 5 for?
Just her variations. She's got a couple of really good slower balls that she uses really well. And she's been bowling really well through this whole campaign through the middle and later overs. It seems to be something she's really nailed down. She's been very economical in each of the 3 games Australia's played. And it was similar against New Zealand when Sophie Devine was flying and scored a century. She was still the one only going at 3 or 4 and over. So she's just been very good, very consistent, hits really good lengths. And that's really helped her be so effective during that phase of the game.
Yeah, that's great. I saw Sophie Molyneux took 3 for 75, pretty good return. Good to get it back in the wickets column for her. And I think, as you alluded to last time I chatted to, Aussies are so keen to have her in that side, and you can sort of tell why when she's taking wickets like that.
Yeah, and it was a good response from her too, because I think Shmiti Mandana in particular definitely had a plan to go after her early. I think her first over went for 16 runs. Maybe didn't hit her lines straight away, as you'd expect when she hasn't played a game in about 2 weeks. So she did really well to respond and come back in and get those wickets in the end.
And let's talk about Smiti Mandana, because what a heater she's been on, 80 of 66, a couple of hundreds in the past few games as well. Is she the most informed batter in the world at the minute?
Just about. Surprisingly, she hadn't really made any runs in the World Cup in the 3 innings leading into this, but she definitely has Australia worked out at the moment. I think she scored 3 centuries in her last 5 innings against Australia, 80 the other night, 50 in the one game that she didn't turn up in last month in the ODI series. And I think one thing Australia has relied on in the past has been Ash Gardner's, what was a ridiculous record. I think their record stood at Ash had taken her wicket 5 times and maybe been hit for about 60 runs. So, and has been completely ineffective against her so far this tour. So I think Schmidt's gone away and worked out a plan for Ash Gardner. So Australia probably have to go away and counteract that if they're going to meet India in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, there's every chance they might. Although India have lost another game. They lost to South Africa, didn't they, in another high-scoring chase? Where do you see this Indian team at the minute?
That is a great question. And if you ask, I think, everyone at the ground who wasn't a member of the Indian side, they all agree they should be playing 6 bowlers. That they're really backing in their tactic of lengthening the batting lineup, putting as many on the board as possible and then defending it. But they're playing 5 bowlers. One of them's Amanjot Kaur, who's almost not a full-time bowler herself. And then Harman was the one who bowled the 1 extra over outside them the other night. So I think that was the other thing Australia knew was in their favour, chasing 330. They knew India didn't have that 6 option. And if someone was having an off night, they could just go after her, which ended up being Amanjot. And, batting second, bit of dew, that gave them a lot of confidence. And it was the exact same as South Africa in the game they won. They just knew India didn't have that backup bowling option.
Yeah, okay. Now let's talk about Alyssa Healy's 142 of 107. LJ, you've seen a lot of Midge's best innings live. Where does this one rank in terms of just genuine quality?
It's right up there, I think. You talk about her World Cup final innings in the MCG and in Christchurch, and they were two of the best. But this one, she hadn't scored a ton in 3.5 years. World record chase needed by Australia. She really pulled it out when it was needed.
What was any highlights in particular that come straight to mind when you think back on that innings? Any shots that really stand out?
I think it was just the way she got going straight away for a player who had admitted herself she had no rhythm since arriving in India, and she'd been very frustrated in the nets leading into the game, just really wasn't timing anything, and just the way she was able to come out and just get going straight away was really good to see.
Yeah, and she's always full of life and full of attitude at the end, isn't she? So Elise Perry was the other one who I want to just touch on there as well. She retired hurt during her innings but came back. What was the story there?
Yeah, that one set a bit of a scare, I think, through those outside the Aussie camp at least, who didn't know what was going on. Sort of grabbed at her leg, stepping forward to play a shot and pretty quickly left the field. But we were assured pretty quickly that it was just cramp. But she did take a while to come back out. Tally McGrath, Sophie Molyneux came out before she returned to the middle. Turned out later, we were told she was out in the car park doing a testing herself, making sure she could run without that cramp coming back. So I think once the fans in the stands realised Elise Perry was in the car park running up and down, she might have attracted a few spectators out there. But, yeah, classic Pez. She came back out and got it done with a 6.
Do you imagine if you were a bit late to the game and you're just pulling up, parked the car and thought, hang on a second, shouldn't she be out in the middle?
Yeah, it was great to see her come out and just that, I think, her experience alongside Kim Garth, who for a third game has played a really important role with the bat for Australia, was just to show the depth Australia had to get them over the line there in a close finish.
Yeah, well, I wanted to touch on that. Obviously, Garth has now contributed 3 times with the bat. We saw Alana King make that 50, and then you wrote a few days ago just how important lower order contributions have been at this World Cup rather than the top order runs. Why do you think that's been?
Yeah, I think part of it has been a lot of these pitches haven't maybe been as batting friendly as we thought they would be coming over. We're still getting a bit of the end of that monsoon season rain, so pitches are spending a bit more time under covers. Probably aren't as, even though the other night was pretty flat, not as flat in some cases. I think maybe just pressure of World Cups as well. Nadine de Klerk played another vital innings to get South Africa home against Bangladesh last night as well, batting number 8 for the second game in a row. So it seems to be a real trend across this whole tournament.
Yeah, lots of expectations now in the lower order, which is a funny thing to say. Good segue into Bangladesh, I think, LJ, because they're Australia's next opponents. Same venue, still in Vizag. That's on Thursday. What can we expect from Bangladesh? Because they're no longer a pushover.
No, they're not. They beat Pakistan to start off the World Cup. So from straight away they made a bit of a statement that they're here, and they had England in a world of trouble. Honestly, should have beaten South Africa last night. If a couple of those catches had been held, they would have been home. So I think they're a really threatening side. They've always been a good bowling side, and the bowlers are performing really well this tournament. I've got Marifa Akhtar, the young quick, up front for them, and then a handful of spinners too who just bowl that tricky, really slow spin that teams can find hard to handle. And their weakness has always been their batting. They don't have as many of those power hitters that some of the other teams do, but I think they really showed their game plan against South Africa last night, and it was similar against England. They just go and bat attritionally for as much of the 50 overs as they can. They're going to go at 4 and over, try and explode late, and then get themselves up to that 230, 250 total, which that can prove a bit tricky to chase.
Yeah, and Australia have played against them so rarely in previous years that probably helps Bangladesh, doesn't it? I mean, all that unknown and the lack of familiarity with the opponent.
Yeah, they haven't played these. I think they've played 4 one-dayers in the past, never played them before the last World Cup in New Zealand. So big unknowns there. Australia will hopefully be pretty conscious of the threat they pose after the way England and South Africa have gone against them. But definitely not one to count as easy beats.
Now, it's still a bit early to call, but are there any selection issues or any selection changes you might foresee for the Aussies ahead of this next game?
I feel like they're just going to keep managing Molyneux. We're not entirely sure what the situation is with her knee coming back from that surgery. It's just heavily strapped every time she does train or warm up for a game. So I do see her maybe sitting this one out as well, just knowing they've got England, South Africa, and then finals pretty close together coming up at the end of the tournament, which could create an opportunity for Georgia Wareham to come back in. They might also be keen to give Darcy Brown's pace a go against Bangladesh. I don't know how often they would face someone as quick as Darcy Brown, so it could be worth throwing her in there as well to rattle their batters a bit.
Yeah, they might be cranking out the bowling machine in the lead up to this match just to prepare because, as you say, probably not too many players in Bangladesh that can sort of bowl at that speed. So it'll be a really fascinating contest if they go that way.
Absolutely. And Megan Shute has also been quite good since coming back into the Aussie 11, but she left the field due to cramp the other night as well and had to have her over finished. So we believe she's up and running and she'll be available for selection as well.
LJ, thanks for the update. Stay well over there in Vizag and we'll touch base with you again very soon.
Thank you.
Richo, Vizag, what's it like as a city? You've been there? You've played there?
I've definitely been there. I don't know if I played. I've run water in the vest there. I reckon.
Okay.
Josh Inglis made 100 there a couple of years ago in the T20
that's right,
after the World Cup. And I remember another T20 there. I reckon Pat Cummins and Coulton Isle hit the winning runs in a real close T20 as well. So it used to be a real big spinning wicket. I know Adam Zampa took an IPL 6 for there. Used to be a really big spinner, but in recent years it's flattened out. So yeah, near the coast, quite picturesque from the team hotel that I remember staying at. So nice part of the world.
Was that in his Pune Warriors Superchargers?
Yeah, the rising Pune Supergiant.
That's the one.
Of course, that one. With Dhoni keeping.
Yeah,
6 for 19. I remember that.
Wow. Okay. Were you in that tournament as well, or were you just watching from home?
No, I was in Bangalore in my room, probably just sitting in bed watching, as you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing about these tournaments. They're on every night, so there's always cricket on, and that's the case with the World Cup. They've got Bangladesh next. Definitely no pushovers, but it's been some really good performances, as we touched on in that chat with Laura Jolly, Alyssa Healy making runs, Annabelle Sutherland taking wickets, and the spin department, there's plenty of options there too for the Aussies.
Absolutely. Like I said, they're starting to purr. Touching on Annabelle Sutherland with 5 wickets, how's Louis Cameron's pre-tournament prediction of player of the tournament? What would you say?
Well, it's looking good so far.
How are we tracking?
Yeah, I mean, she probably needs a few more runs, but she is the leading wicket taker with 10, so that helps.
So all of a sudden, if she just starts making some runs, he's probably on the money, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he ticks off that breakout call.
And we were laughing at him, but maybe we won't be.
Well, we did say it's a fair caveat to attach, but I guess being an all-rounder probably helps you get both bites at the cherry, hey? So if you miss out the bat, which Annabelle did, well, she took 5 for first, obviously, but it's a nice problem to have when you're pretty good at both. So hopefully for Louis' case and for our case, the girls win and Annabelle's player of the tournament.
Definitely. That might have been our mistake. We didn't pick enough all-rounders.
Well, Jack Edwards is.
Well, yes, and he is back. So
Yes.
we'll get to him a little bit later. So good luck to the Aussies tonight against Bangladesh. Hopefully they can make it their 4th win and stay top of the table as they head into the business end of the tournament. The Ashes, Richo, there's plenty going on there. It's bubbling away. It's, 5 or 6 weeks away now from that first ball. Pat Cummins said earlier in the week that he's more unlikely than likely to play that first test. Is that a concern for the Aussies? Does that mean that, he might not play at all, do you think?
Well, like you said, it's 5 weeks, 6 weeks? That's a lot of, not a lot of time, sorry, when you have him in bowling.
Yeah.
You think about anyone getting ready to do anything of that magnitude, to have 5 weeks leading is not much time. Has he even started bowling yet?
No.
Yeah, so I would dare say it's going to be back into the series if at all. And I know he's keeping, well, they're not really putting a date on it, and that's probably a good thing. Keep everyone guessing and see how he kind of reacts in the next few weeks. But I would dare say the workload that Pat's going to need to be ready is going, and especially for a series of that magnitude, it's going to be quite considerable, the lead in he's going to need. So fingers crossed it's the back end of the series he can come in and help us lift the urn. But yeah, it's 5 or 6 weeks to go of just people just sprouting opinions in the media and who can have the wildest take between now and then. So I don't know about you. I find every single Ashes, I know it's part of it, but I just can't read any of it. It's just let's just hurry up and get to that first ball so we can just put all the talking aside and just play.
But whether you want to read it or not, you can't ignore it because it pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
And we've had some pretty outrageous stuff from the English this week and some Aussies as well, which I do want to talk about because we should, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's all part of it, isn't it? It's the business we're at. Well, we're currently talking about it, aren't we? But you're right. You can't. Like, I try not to come across a lot of this stuff, but it's basically impossible because it is just out there and it's on every news outlet, whether it be first thing in the morning or last thing at night. So, yeah, it's talking season. 5 or 6 weeks of talking season before we get into it.
I mean, Australia used to have Glenn McGrath. He was the king of it. Now it's more the English who are doing the talking. Zach Crawley said Bazball really gets under the skin of the Aussies. Do you think that's true?
Well, I don't know. I would say there's definitely something that comes with the way they're playing and the arrogance and the confidence in which they're carrying themselves. I wouldn't say it gets under their skin, but there's definitely something that would be the Aussies would be aware of just how they're carrying themselves these days, that they're not exactly going to be, an easy pushover.
I don't know about the team, but it gets under the skin of the fans, I reckon, the Aussie fans.
Yeah.
They love to take the mickey out of it.
Yeah, but then it's both ways. Yeah. It's English fans versus, it's when you don't like a country or when you don't like people.
You don't need any excuse.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not really getting under the skin. I think people just want to pot each other as much as possible. But no, I would definitely think that whenever you come up against a team that has a certain air of confidence about them, you're always a bit more wary and you're a bit more, I don't know, you think about it a bit more. So whether or not it's under their skin, we will see. Everything that's said right now, keep receipts and then come back to them and see. But
that's important, isn't it, keeping receipts?
Well, it is, because if you're going to say stuff, and especially when you say Glenn McGrath, when Glenn McGrath used to say it, it would be on the radio and maybe on like the TV in the morning. Now it's you pick up your phone, you go on any social media, it's like bang, there it is on the algorithm. So be aware of that, but keep receipts and we'll come back to it come early January.
Well, the English have a bit of swagger, definitely this time around, and Stuart Broad, their recently retired great, has said that this is the worst Australian team in 15 years. Which was the last time England won down under, 2010-11. And he's also said that this English side is the best in 15 years. Yeah. Now, is that a bit of recency bias or is he just trying to stir the pot on his own podcast?
Well, it's important. That's an important bit to add to that. It's when it's your own podcast, you probably got to you got to have a hot take to
add a bit of mayo
to aggregate. I would say he's throwing a bit of pressure on England by saying that.
That's true.
By saying it's the worst Aussie team. And don't get me wrong, he's got some juice behind him. He's pretty qualified to have an opinion on the Ashes because he's one of the great Ashes performers.
For sure.
To say they're the best they've been since then and we're the worst, I would dare say that's throwing quite a lot of pressure on his own team.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of his plan. I don't know. He's going to be a constant figure over this summer, whether you like him or not.
Yep, he'll be in the commentary box for Channel 7.
He's going to be front and centre. And again, Australians, if you're going to say anyone gets under Australian skin, it's Stuart Broad. So it's well crafted what he's saying right now, and pay attention to everything he says or don't in the next 5 or 6 weeks because he's going to be front and center. So yeah, we'll say 2010. It's a long time ago. A lot of people probably wouldn't remember. A lot of young people probably wouldn't remember. But I don't think Australia's in that bad a shape.
Okay, the English normally have a villain that the Aussies like to sort of identify. Kevin Peterson, Stuart Broad. Who's it going to be this time around?
Good question. Well, as I said, it's Stuart Broad still going to be front and center.
Still him.
It's still him for me. No, look, I think Ben Stokes is going to be the one who's going to really. He's going to thrive in. I think I said it a few weeks ago. I think he'll thrive in the cauldron, being captain. The way he's kind of him and Brendan McCullum have shaped this team to be what they are now, and the way they play, he's going to be front and center with taking either the blame or all the credit. I think he'll be the main figure in Australian crowds. He'll be the target, I think. So, but what a competitor, what a player. He's not new to Ashes cricket in this country. So, what about you? Who do you think?
Well, Stokes is probably a good one, but as captain, he's already got that sort of title. It's a tough one, isn't it?
It's one of those ones. Normally, you'd go like a Stuart Broad.
I've got one.
Okay.
Harry Brook.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not one of those guys. He just
He's a big
tends to-
talker.
Yeah, but not in when you go watch him play, he just goes about his business.
Right.
Maybe when he's on 100 and someone says something, he'll go back at him. But I think
You want the sledging. You
well,
want
I
the
think
back and forth.
that villain, like the someone who's going to rile the crowd up, and maybe you're right. But I think like Stuart Broad, he was a constant. You look at this English team, you're like, well, he might play the first test, he might play the second. When I'm looking at the bowling group, especially, you don't know how consistent their team's going to be.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the batting group, and I feel like the batting group, they're pretty quiet, pretty reserved. Like Ben Duckett, Zach Crawley. I know Zach Crawley said some stuff, but you put a microphone in front of blokes' faces, they're going to talk.
Yeah.
Especially in the lead up, build the hype up. Joe Root, I don't know. I can't really pick a villain there. Maybe all of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Root just goes about his business.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be that pressure on him to make that century. He said he's ready in the press this week to make his first test century in Australia. He's also never won a test in Australia.
Really?
So, there will be a bit of pressure on him, but he has an unbelievable test record, and he's eyeing off becoming the all-time leading run scorer.
Yeah.
Not that far away from Sachin's record.
Yeah, which is incredible. I mean, I remember playing I played Adelaide club cricket against him when he was like part of the Darren Lehman Academy, like playing for Prospect. And now look at him, he's going to become the greatest test batsman ever. It's an incredible
Was he
career.
good then?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but yeah, you would never predict someone's about to overtake Sachin. So it's just one of those quirks on his resume that he hasn't ticked off. And it's not that big a deal if he does or he doesn't. I would dare say, I know people are saying that it is, but he's never won a test here either. So it's hard to make 100 if you're not winning games. I don't know. Your team's probably not in a position to do so. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he does tick it off because I think it's such a silly thing. Like it's 100. He'll do it. He's made hundreds everywhere. He's going to be the greatest player ever. So, it's just one of those little quirks that we put so much time and attention into.
Yeah. And Pat Cummins has been a real nemesis for him.
Yeah.
He might not be there for the first couple of tests. So that's a big tick for Joe.
Yep.
Just on the stats side of things, on Stokes, he's a bit in that Andrew Flintoff mold, isn't he? Like his numbers, as we look at them, and we love to pour over the stats and the averages, they're not elite.
Yeah.
But he's one of these guys who stands up in the big moments,
Yep.
and you just know that when the pressure's on in a big Ashes battle, he's going to be the one who takes it on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen some of his exploits in previous Ashes campaigns. I think when he's in, or when he's bowling, they're never out of the game. It feels that way as an Aussie fan. Stokes is still in.
Yeah.
They're never out of it. You know, he's that kind of competitor. So I think what you're saying is right with the Flintoff comparison. And yeah, if he's bowling as much as he kind of did in that recent series where he really took a lion's share of the workload, which he's probably going to have to when you, again, look at that bowling group and you're not really confident in who's going to be there consistently. So his big question mark will be his own body. How much can he shoulder that workload? Because it is hard work here in Australia, as most people know, in the heat of summer, trying to get 20 wickets. So, yeah, I don't know how old is he? I think he's the same age as I. So he's getting mid-30s. How much more, this could be his final Ashes in Australia. So
34, yeah.
He's going to go down swinging, I reckon.
Yeah.
And he'll do everything he can to try and win. So, yeah, watch that with interest as well.
Yeah, I feel like they're a much better chance, England, if he's bowling.
Yeah.
Because if he's unable to bowl with that knee or whatever injury he has, he's also one of these guys who seems to get injured a lot, but then comes back and is able
healing
to
powers.
he's able to complete his innings.
Yep.
Or he's bowling.
Or
bowling
a
spell.
high pain threshold, I would say, as well. That comes with that. And people probably, you definitely don't notice that on the couch, how much pain those guys are in when they're in the middle of a spell, but some guys can just block it out and just keep coming in. I think he's one of those guys.
Marnus Labuschagne, we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago, where he fits into this side. And since then, I think he's hit 3 centuries in 4 innings for Queensland. So he's in probably the best form of any batter on the domestic scene at the minute. Is he back in that Test 11 or is there still a bit of work to do there?
Well, it's the position, again, of the order, isn't it? And obviously all the talk is about the opening position, but is he are they going to shuffle the order and get him back into bat 3 or 4, or does Green go down low? Is there only one all-rounder? I don't know, to be honest. Whatever the position is up for grabs, he's first in line at the moment, isn't he, with the way he's gone about his cricket in the past 10 days. And it comes on the back of him not being in the ODI team, which is interesting as well. So he's responded to basically everything that's been thrown his way in the last, there was questions 2 months ago, and I remember sitting here saying, well, if Marnus goes back to first-class cricket or to domestic, he's going to be the best player in domestic cricket.
Yeah.
Because he is. So it's nice to see him back that up. I should have put him in my breakouts for the summer. But to his credit, he's gone back and, he's done what he needed to do. So
now he goes to Adelaide Oval in the Sheffield Shield.
I was just looking at that, which will be an interesting challenge as well, because that wicket tends to do something for most of the day. So most of the 4 days, and against a good bowling attack. So if he can back that up with more runs, then all of a sudden you've got a pretty compelling argument.
Definitely. Let's get on to that ODI series. Australia versus India. They've got 3 matches starting from this Sunday, October 19. They play in Perth, Adelaide and the SCG. It's going to be most likely the last time that Australian fans will see Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma up close. It's their last dance, some are calling it. And I think the Aussie crowds will get around those two. They've been, great servants of the game, and they always seem to have highlights when they play down here in Australia, don't they?
Yeah, they tend to bring their best against any team wearing green and gold, that's for sure. So when you talk about you got that series leading into an Ashes where you've got possibly some guys who might like Joe Root and Stokes and those guys who might not tour again, but you've also got these greats of India. It's a pretty nice summer on the horizon, isn't
Definitely,
it, of content. So, those games will be, I think, close to a sellout in Sydney, I read.
Yeah, I think they are very close, if not already sold out.
Which is great, because usually these games, especially before a series as big as the Ashes, can feel like a bit of a, what's the point of this? Let's get through it. But to have some meaningful, prep leading into that World Cup next year, and a team as big as India, they're always pulling a crowd. So,
and they've got a strong squad here as well, don't they?
They always do, don't they? Whether it's India A or F or number one. So, yeah, they're going to be up for it. They've got something to play for. Crowd competitors again, Virat and Rohit. So, yeah, looking forward to that series. Starts this weekend, which is coming so quick. So, yeah, great for Aussie boys to get in some good cricket before the Ashes.
And on the crowds, I think the T20 match, which is at the MCG next week, I think that's already sold out as well. So that's going to be a huge crowd for that match as well. But we'll get onto that next week. Virat Kohli, I want to get your favourite Virat memory from you. You've probably played against him. Have you played with him at Bangalore?
Played with him.
What sort of sticks out when you think of his career?
Oh, just honestly, the thing I admired most about him, playing with or playing against. So just the energy and the effort it takes to be Virat Kohli, and not just when he's batting, but like when people come to the cricket, they're coming to watch him, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of attention and eyeballs that are always on him, he can't for a second switch off in the field because, everyone's there to see him.
Cameras on him.
Cameras on him, and just his persona, his competitiveness, he's always up and about. They get a wicket. There's times, and he's older than I am, but you just can't be bothered. He doesn't bowl. Someone gets a wicket and he's like, it's like he's just taken his, it's like he's taken a 10-for. And I've always admired that. It's like, I can't do that, but you do. And I admire that about you. Just competitive, wants to win, never backs down. Even when he's super fit, even when he's batting, he'll treat every run, he'll run as hard as he can.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of guys when they're starting to get in the middle of a long innings, they're taking the foot off the gas as much as possible. They're just walking singles. Not Virat. I think he's changed Indian cricket for the better in terms of professionalism off the field. I've seen that firsthand playing with him, how seriously he takes preparation and recovery. And I think he's rubbed off so positively on the next generation of Indian cricketer. The way they look after themselves has changed. The way they treat fielding has changed. Their attitude in the field. So, yeah, I've admired him massively over the years. And then, obviously, his record with the bat speaks for itself.
What's the best knock you've seen him play?
Oh, there's so many.
Has he hit a few centuries against you? Or?
Yes, many.
Oh,
It's hard because I think the ones over in India always felt more impressive because of the conditions. I remember there was one in Kolkata. I remember there was a game in Kolkata where it was so hot. Matty Wade, I remember bowling. Matty Wade was threw up as I was running. It was so hot.
What?
I remember Paddy Cummins was sitting on an esky on the side of the field.
Yep.
Zamps was giving him a drink. And someone was running into bowl and Zamps was like, Paddy, the bowl's running in. And he's like, I know. and he was still just sitting on the esky off the field. And if the ball got hit to him, he'd get up. It was, I can't describe how hot this day was.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, like, if there was like a little hole in the ground that was my shaped body, I would get in that and fill it in. Like, I'm done.
That
and
impressive.
It was ridiculous. It rained that morning and the day before, and then all of a sudden, flip the coin, sun came out. I don't think he made 100 that day. I reckon he got 90 odd. But again, like, we are literally dying, and he is like clipping a 1 or a 2 and running it like he's on a treadmill in air conditioning. Like, and it's just like, but
Yeah,
honestly,
that's impressive.
you speak to anyone that was there that day. I don't know, there's footage of like guys wearing the ice necklaces, and no one has color in their face. Everyone's just, no one was speaking. If you got a wicket, it was just complete silence because no one had energy. Virat had energy. So, I mean, that wouldn't be one that sticks out to many people in terms of being, you know, the most high profile. But I just remember, like, that was when I was like, this guy is a completely different level no matter the conditions.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma as well. He's obviously been star of ODI cricket. He's done pretty well in tests as well later in his career. And Mumbai Indians, I think he's won 5 or 6 titles with them as well. So how do you think he'll be sort of remembered?
Well, one of the best looking batsmen, like in terms of visually. I think he's,
Yeah.
I know bowling to him. I've always thought this guy thinks I'm so bad. Just the way he just moves into the ball and the shots he plays, like he would be licking his lips every time I run in. So, yeah, again, he's going to be one of the greats of ODI cricket, not just for India in the world game. You know, the scores he's produced, you know, what did he make? 260 odd, 264 in a ODI. That's ridiculous. Like, think about that 30, 20 years ago. I actually remember as well, I was bowling to him in indoor, the ground in India, and he came down, smacked one out of the ground. And I remember that day.
Like over the stand.
Out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's not a big ground, so it's not a massive hit. But out of the ground, everyone's like, oh my God, that 6 was so big, he hit you outdoor.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's my lasting memory of Rohit.
That's very good.
He hit me outdoor of indoor.
Josh Philippe is back. He's going to play in that first ODI in Perth because Josh Inglis is injured with the ankle that's just not quite right. And then Alex Carey is going to return for the second ODI, and they're hopeful that Josh Inglis will be right for the third. So we could have 3 different keepers for Australia in this series. But good to see Josh Philippe back. He hasn't played an ODI since 2021, and good reward for his recent form.
Yeah, he was your weekly winner a few weeks back for getting picked as injury replacement for Glenn Maxwell, wasn't he, for the T20s? Yeah. He didn't get a game over there, but he made some runs in India recently on the A trip. So, you know, there's been some discussion about that keeping position, and if Josh Inglis is injured for a World Cup, say, and it has shown that Alex Carey's the next guy in, but it also shows Philippe's pretty close to the mark as well, seeing he's next guy in. So great opportunity if it is just one game for him to in front of his old home crowd to play a game for Australia and put himself right in the mix for any positions coming up. So he's feels like a guy who's been around for a long time, but I still, you know, is he even 30 yet? I don't.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. So it's worth probably should know that, but I feel like that there's a international career still waiting to break out there with him. So yeah, great opportunity, albeit for one game, for him to make some runs and yeah, just have a really good game.
28 to my research tells me.
28. So that's so young, isn't it? Still,
that's great.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be opportunities coming up, especially as Josh slowly phases into being an all format player. As we've seen, guys can't really carry the load in all formats all around the world. So there should be opportunities for Josh going forward.
And he's been pretty prolific, Josh Philippe, on Instagram as well. He's been doing all sorts of things, golf and all.
What else?
Different sorts of. Well, I saw some hair treatment he had on there. So
full head of hair. Maybe he'll keep without a hat on. He'll just go.
Yeah, that's good.
Just hair out.
Yeah, we don't see that very often, do we? Hatless keepers.
Dhoni occasionally.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. He had a good head of hair, so no pressure there. But yeah, good follow, Josh. If you
definitely get around him on Instagram. Absolutely. Now the Sheffield Shield round 2 that starts on Wednesday, October 15. Probably as you are listening to this, it'll be day 2. There are some big inclusions this week, and also a couple of significant outs, including Bo Webster, who is still not right. That ankle still not allowing him to play. So he's the incumbent, obviously, in that test team, and if he doesn't play any of these Shield matches, it's going to be hard to pick him for the first test.
Yeah, it is. You need some cricket. Like we're saying with Pat Cummins, it's the same for anyone really. You need some lead in for a series of such magnitude as the Ashes. So yeah, he needs to get back. I don't know how bad it is, but it must be enough to be keeping him out. And again, being an all-rounder, it's hard to you can't really, he needs to be bowling as well, doesn't he? He can't just be batting. So he needs to be fine to bowl. So there's storylines everywhere with that. As you said, Alex Carey's back in for the Sackers and misses the ODI. And then all of a sudden you got the guys who are jostling for that top order spot or spots. Qantas against Boland. We saw a little bit of that last year.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's good.
We have another go at that. It'll be interesting to see how he goes about it because there's been some talk about that in the press about how he should go about it. And no one really knows how he will go about it apart from himself. So watch that with interest. And then Jake Weatherald, who's close against WA. And then, as we said earlier, Marnus against South Australia and Adelaide. So
yeah, Shield final rematch, that one.
Yep. So there's plenty to watch. Good competition there with those guys and coming up against good bowling attacks in what could be seamer friendly conditions. Apart from, the Junction Ovals tends to be pretty flat, but in October, who knows? So,
that's true.
Yeah, great round of Shield cricket awaits.
Your boy Jack Edwards back in for New South Wales as well
with the armband.
Yes, he's replacing Nathan Lyon, although Lyon got a win in his first match. So good luck, well done to him.
Yep.
Nathan McAndrew, who's back, and Liam Scott as well, back in for the Sackers.
Yep.
I wanted to get your take, though, on the young WA quick Albert Esterhausen. He played in the one day and he got Sam Qantas out last week, gave him a bit of a send-off too. Now he's into their Shield squad. Did you see that? And what did you make of his little antics there?
Well, it's, again, we've talked about young guys and send-offs, and it's just a new age. There's no
fear.
There's no fear. There's no earning your
That's right.
Yeah, it's just bang straight in, especially with a name like that. Why wouldn't you? You're a household name straight away.
That's great.
That's a fan favourite. So I dare say there would be some antics with Sam. He probably knows Sam. He's probably played juniors against him. There was a Shield game the week before, so Sam, who knows, Sam could have put a target on his back with certain things. So, that's fine. I always think people always do react with send-offs, but there's no better time to tell a batsman's something than when you've just gotten him out. So, although it's not something I tried to do that much, but we've all done it.
Okay, yeah. And he didn't really say a lot. It was just the stare and the attitude, wasn't it? Which is good too, because at least you can't get yourself in any trouble with words that might accidentally slip out.
We don't know though.
Well, that's true.
There could have been some chat there too. But strong body language never goes astray, does it? So again, all of a sudden now you're in a Shield game.
And now people are talking about you.
And you've got 30 overs under your belt, possibly in a Shield game. It can be pretty hard to back that up. But good luck to him. It's a good start to his career.
Definitely. Earlier in the week, Richo, you were down in Melbourne for the BBL kit launch. I want to get your take on those. There's definitely some new looking strips out there. You're in magenta for the first time. How did it feel?
Yeah, it felt nice. Felt fast, like a nice fast race car.
That's good. Yeah.
I didn't feel fast. I don't feel fast. But I liked it. I think you say they're new looks. There was a bit of a nod to the past, a bit vintage, even if you will. And I don't know if anything 15 years old can be vintage. I think it probably can't it?
Yeah, that's the threshold. Right?
So, the Stars one gave me vibes from like year 1 and 2. Like Warney, Luke Wright, like those kind of.
Yeah.
And the Heat as well. I got some early Heat vibes from theirs. My standout, I like Perth.
Yeah.
I like Perth's kit.
Definitely polarised the kit, that one.
Well, I think that's why I like it. So you either like it or you don't. And I'm on the good side with that. I like my old team's kit as well. I like they've gone back to the white R, which was when we won the flag.
Yep.
And then Hobart's is nice because they've got the gold touch because they won the flag.
Yeah, so explain that because I think that's a new addition.
I think it is. I think the team that wins it has always got the little BBL shield above their logo, and people might have missed that, but that's been a constant throughout. But this year they've got the gold trim on the biceps, and also their logo is gold.
Yes. Okay. So the Hurricane is now gold.
They've jazzed it up this year, and I think they've the AFL do that with the premiers. They do that, so maybe they've stolen that. But I think they look good. They bit of nod to the past, but also some nice innovation and New Balance is, of course, what a wonderful apparel company that New Balance is. So happy with the product.
You're a good sponsors, man. The Scorchers one, it looks a bit like a tiger sort of fur or coat, I thought. And you said that Jai Richardson had a bit of a theory about it.
Yeah, it's you have to get someone from WA to talk about it, but he said it was to do with the topography. Is that how?
That could work, yeah, of WA.
Of the outback or
Okay.
of something to do with Western Australia's landscape. And then it's been magnified and turned into a picture.
Actually, you can sort of see that because there's all different shades of orange.
Yeah.
So it does look like maybe a...
Yeah, or like it's melted as well. So it does, I think it has a theme that aligns itself with
It looks
scorcher.
like you and Pat Cummins in Calcutta melting.
Maybe that's the new Aussie kits. Every time we tour India, they should steal that. That's good. I don't know. I like it. I got like camouflage vibes. Like,
Oh, yeah.
But looking at the photo that we're looking at right now, it does not look camouflage. It's definitely
Bright, stands out.
bright and melting. Something's hot in the furnace. So,
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Nice. Okay. Well done to New Balance for those kits and the WBBL. That's not too far away as well. Just a couple of weeks until that kicks off. Let's finish this week with a Hey Richo. We've got a submission here from Alex C. He's from Adelaide. And here it is.
Hey Richo, stop asking me for retro Saka gear. Maybe, hey Richo, tell him about the time we missed the bus in Newcastle under 17s or 19s carnival.
Nice. That's a good question. It's funny you said about the retro Saki gear. I asked for one of those jackets.
Yep.
And he said, yeah, I'll get you one, mate.
Where is it?
Never heard back. So my man, Trav,
Yeah,
if you want something, go to the top dog, not
go skip
not
it.
not the second in line. So Newcastle under 19s, South Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were both vice captains. I reckon.
Oh, who was captain?
That is a very good question.
Come back to that.
Yeah.
So co-vice captain.
Obviously didn't kick on. Co-vice captains. Beach recovery, I think we had after a game. I think we were rooming together. We missed the bus. We turned out to the front of the hotel, not here. I think we SMS'd the coach or the assistant coach and he said, you've missed the bus. You find your own way here. And we were like, all right, we're 17. This is before Uber.
Yeah.
I don't even know if our phones had apps. And we're like, well, we don't have any money on us. Can't get a cab. So we're like, let's run. So I don't know how we got directions. I think we just were like, where's the beach? Or where do we remember being a coast of some sort? And we were just like, let's go. So we just ran.
To the beach.
Yeah. And from memory, we definitely didn't know which way we were going. We weren't familiar with Newcastle at all. And it took us, I reckon, an hour to get there. We were just jogging in our SA team kit. And SA team kit that year was like bright pink, blue and yellow. They messed the red up. So like anyone in Newcastle would have been like, look at these two guys, like matching kit, horrendous colours. So I reckon everyone talks about Alex's professionalism and leadership and I reckon he changed that day. That was the day he said, no more of this guy.
Yeah. Got to distance myself.
I'm disciplined. I'm going to be half an hour early for everything. So
why were you late in the first place?
I don't know if alarms or something like that. I think we were rooming together. So we were both, I can't remember. We're going back a long way now. We're pretty old. So it would have been something to do with that. Again, phones weren't what they are now.
No.
It was like an old Nokia or something. So pretty unreliable technology.
Good
so,
for Snake, but not much else.
Great for games. But yeah, it must have been something like that. So yeah, we ran and that was when just before he went to footy, I reckon.
Oh, okay, right.
So again, built the fitness base.
Definitely.
All of a sudden he's running along for an hour and he feels like, I feel really good here. I'm going back to footy. So
and was there any reprimands or punishment when you did get to the beach?
Well, I think that was the punishment, wasn't it? That you had to run. So yeah, again, not great from your leaders. And as I said, Alex is captain Australia since then. So
yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And speaking of retro kits, that pink kit, that might be worth something in a few years' time if you've still got hands on that.
Mum and Dad might have it. I didn't keep it. I was throwing that stuff out straight away. Someone was calling us like we looked like a packet of fruit tingles or something because it was like every colour of the rainbow. But yeah, that's good. I forgot about that. But yeah, all part of the journey for Alex Carey and his career.
Kez never forgets. So.
Never forgets.
Send him that retro stuff, mate. Okay. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Good episode, mate.
Oh no, we never got the meal. Remember the old question? We're going back 2 weeks, but do you?
Oh, your last meal.
Yeah, last meal. I've been thinking about this every minute of the day since then.
Okay, take it away. I haven't given it any thought, but
none. Well, all right, I'll give you a sec. All right, so I can't remember who it was.
Yep.
But we'll answer your question because I'm sure he's tuning in, wanting to know.
Yeah, it was from Josh. Josh.
in Perth.
Yes, Josh. First time email to Josh.
So fish tacos, entree, Hawaiian pizza,
Okay. Yep.
a lager.
So you like pineapple on pizza?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I do. That's why I'm going. I'm going down. I'm going down with pineapple.
Is
on
there
the pizza.
pineapple on your fish taco as well?
Yeah, I'm going tropical.
Yeah.
And
Tropical lager as well.
tropical lager. And then just like a big dirty bag of Doritos or something on the side with some guacamole.
Yeah, that's solid.
That's a
good.
big meal. I'm probably going to die I'm probably going to die from eating that meal. So I'm going to go down swinging.
Very solid. Just one lager?
Wow, as
If
many
it's
as I
your
can
last
fit in.
meal,
Yeah,
yeah.
if your last, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
You?
On
the spot?
Can I have another week?
Go for it. Let's string this out for the rest of the summer.
Thanks, mate. Good episode.
Yep, nice.
Catch you next week.
Thanks.